So we're not going back to that.
We are. It's international law. You cannot even police.
United States. Hey, this is it before we depart.
So this is part of the clip that we played last time, the only part, and as you can see, you see the officer saying that international law does not apply in the United States. We are supposed to uphold international laws, constitutional rights, civil rights, and you'll see him breaking more of these, but he doesn't think that international law applies in the United States, even though we're internationally part of the world. Anyway, let's see what else.
Get those things squared away that you need before you go back up to the city.
Now, you might be asking yourself what things he needs at this point. Things to make business safer, things to make handicap easier, things to help people. But let's see what he says I need.
If you're going to get your business, you got to have the background check package done, and you got to have a certificate of health. If you don't have that, do not come back to City Hall with any kind of information.
Let me ask.
Okay, so first of all, I did a background check when I first did my massage license. I don't remember ever having to do another one again because they don't issue the license, the state does, and so as long as I keep up my issue with the state, and they can do their own background check, so pretty sure he's making that one up. And then the health certificate, he is not a licensed physician. I have not been seen by a licensed physician. I am more medically certified than most licensed physicians. Not higher, but more. And I have tried to explain to these cops multiple times that under Georgia Code 422334, or whatever the number is at this point, it doesn't matter because they don't listen to it anyway, even when you testify under oath, that it's a felony to try to prevent any disease or tell anyone to mask up or get vaccinated or get a health certificate or anything unless you have a medical license. And then you can't force it on people. You can only suggest that they do that. Everyone has their own human basic innate rights that say I don't need to get an STD test because I'm not sleeping with my clients. That's why they want the STD test, to make sure that I'm clean for anyone I might be sleeping with, which is only my girlfriend. But anyway, back to the story.
The city ordinance. Okay?
No,
this is the city ordinance. I tell you this: if you don't have that and you have business going on here, you're gonna come back and you're gonna go to jail. I need those business licenses off the wall now that belong to the other owner.
I want you to know that's treasonous and that's a violation of the Constitution.
I don't care what it is. You're gonna give it to me, or I'm gonna go in there and get it.
You cannot.
So never mind that he just said he was going to trespass and come in and get my property without a warrant or anything. Never mind he said he didn't care about the Constitution. We'll get to that later. I like to start with what they said first, because I like to do things in order. So they said that city ordinance, I was trying to tell them about state laws and how they're violating them, and they said city ordinances trump them because their only responsibility is to Warner Robins, not the Constitution. I think they need to go back to, well, actually, I think we need to figure out who trains the officers in this area. But, you cannot come into my establishment and take my business licenses, old ones that I've already paid for, ones that I paid for in inheriting this business or in purchasing this failing business. You just come in and take even those that have already been paid for years ago. And you think that, and I still haven't gotten them back. And you think that's okay? These are the officers that we have. And this is what I'm trying to expose.
You cannot have a license that does not belong to you posted in the business center.
That's right.
It belongs to me.
No, it doesn't.
I paid for it.
Like right here, you can see me telling them that I paid for the licenses. And I would show you the licenses, but they took them. They were the old licenses from the previous years, and I had receipts for them. But they took them anyway, and I still haven't gotten them back. I even have a letter from the chief of police that I'll post right here. And you can pause that and read it later, but it asks him if I can have my licenses back, and it says it's not his job to give me back my property that his officers stole. I'm paraphrasing.
Another city.
Yesterday,
I want to rob
you had a frame, right?
Yeah, 2 frames yesterday.
Right?
three that came out.
I had that,
There
and
was a frame, and you pulled three of them out of the frame. There was a third. There was one for 3 years.
And right there, you hear them saying there was one for 3 years. Like they're going to let me stay in business or let any business stay in operation, even though that's illegal. We don't need a license to live. That's what the Constitution says. But 3 years without paying licenses. I have the receipts from the previous owner. So this is them literally just stealing my licenses so I don't have a copy. And they have not given them back. Now, I get it. They don't like me. A lot of people don't like me for my mouth because I speak the truth, and sometimes I get a little upset and don't speak the truth out of love. For instance, like this.
Are you doing business?
no,
Are you massaging bodies right now?
no. Do you see me massage anybody right now?
Sure will.
But again, we're in a pandemic at this point. Like, this is literally like 2020 or 2021, but I'm pretty sure either way, we're still in lockdown from COVID, you know. This was 2020 actually. So yeah, we're 2021. I don't know. I've gone through this for so many years, I don't know. But the point is we're still in lockdown at this point. The Constitution guarantees me the right to live and make money. They cannot deny that over city ordinance, well, no matter what they think. But this is enough for now. I'm going to hand in the full videos to, well, I've already given them to the U.S. Secretary of State, the Georgia Secretary of State, the Department of Justice, Judicial Oversight Groups, Georgia Risk Management Division, whistleblowers, everyone I could, just people on the street. But this is enough to hand in to CSRA, which is a criminal organization that doesn't even work for the government. That I've given them the information, and I have them on camera somewhere saying that they don't have to adhere to the Constitution because they're a private company, so they're not under oath to protect citizens. But I'll put all this later, but I'm going to hand all this back into my CSRA Probation Officer Karrington Butts, and I'll put in some fun things for us guys later, but we'll leave it without pictures for now, and I'll just go ahead and put it up and fill in the pictures later. But we'll finish the story really briefly.
And this is it before we depart.
Okay.
Get those things squared away that you need before you go back up to the city. If not, you know what the result's going to be.
Now, threatening and intimidation are not supposed to be allowed under constitutional law. Oh yeah, civil ordinance somehow beats constitutional law. But to me that looks like threatening and intimidation under the color of law. But anyway.
And are you going to be allowed to have pets in this building?
And after all that, they're going to try to also charge me for having cats in a building. What a free country. Anyway.
Sir,
Like I said,
obtain the proper
take care of
paperwork to prove it, okay?
Okay.
That's what he's asking.
I personally thought the proper paperwork was the Constitution of the United States that allows me to be free, live life, have property without anyone being able to just come in and take it away from me. But I guess the Constitution doesn't work anymore. But I'll turn this in, and I gotta go before my client gets here. But I did want to mention one last thing, that all this happened the day after I tried to ask the mayor at a public meeting why people kept coming to me saying that they'd been touched inappropriately down the street and that cops were refusing to allow them to report it, like I showed in my last video. I guess it depends on if the cop believes them or not. Even when the business they're trying to report has multiple instances of it. But the chief of police, when I went to the town hall at the time, told me that he knew I was there before I said anything, and I wasn't allowed to speak at all, but he'd send an officer the next day to address my concerns, and this was what he sent. And I'll add pictures for this fun thing later. And until next time, you guys, remember to breathe. And speak up when you see someone doing things wrong. We're all gonna die. Fight for something. Live for something.